Welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. E. Sivanagi, CEO, the Cultural Center of Vijayawada and Amravati. Today, we will discuss a module entitled Tribes and Tourism in India for the paper Tourism in India of the subject Indian Culture. You all know that India is known as a cultural fabric and cultural mosaic. India is composed of good number of tribes, and those tribes are spread across all the states of India, and in one state there may be more than 50 to 60 tribes. Prominent tribes are located in central India and also in the northeastern frontier. This phenomenon helped many of the scholars in estimating the ethos and values of the tribal lore, and also postulated that tribal culture forms important ingredient of the Indian culture. Of late, Government of India has realized the potentiality of the tribes and tribal culture and heritage as tourism products. Why can't we take it up to develop as tribal tourism in India? It is in this context we now discuss a few aspects of tribes and tribal tourism in India. The learning outcomes of this particular module would be: we will be able to understand what tribal tourism is, significance of tribal tourism in India, and major tribal destinations in India, followed by most of the tribal areas were brought into the tribal tourism destinations. Let us now take up the term tribe, how it is defined, and for your kind information, tribes are defined by various scholars and anthropologists, but the most accepted definition comes from the United Nations. The United Nations defines indigenous or tribal communities, peoples and nations as those having a historical continuity with pre-invasion and pre-colonial societies that developed on their territories, are distinct from other settler groups and want to preserve, develop and transmit to future generations their ancestral territories and their ethnic identity. This is the most accepted definition throughout the world, and as far as the definitions are concerned, it stands in the forefront in the academic spheres. Before we go into the details of various tribes, their location and their culture, art, architecture and varieties of their fairs, festivals, etc., we should also have to understand, in spite of the many number of tribes located in different parts of the country, each and every tribe differs from the rest of the tribe in their cultural traits and civilization. So, this part of the module focuses on the characteristics of the tribes. The historical continuity of the tribes is based on occupation of ancestral lands and common ancestry, cultural practices and language, economically and culturally marginalized, and often live in extreme poverty. These are some of the basic characteristics of the tribes in every part of India. Historically, tribes are viewed as a social group existing before the development of states or regions. Anthropologists used the term tribal society to refer to societies organized largely on the basis of kinship, especially corporate descent groups. Ministry of Tourism, Government of India, while focusing on development of destinations, regions and designing tourism circuits, among the various tourism products that are offered for the consumption of the tourists, government has thought of the tribal population to be converted as a tourism product. And Government of India has already earmarked some areas, particularly northeastern frontier, central India, southern India and northwestern India, where exactly the tribes are living in their natural setting, so that people could be taken to those areas, given a chance to look at them, their habits, habitats, cultural traits, food, drink, and traditional customs, etc. Tribal tourism showcases at tribal life, art, culture, and heritage a specific location. It includes benefiting the local tribal community and enabling interaction between the tourists and the local tribals. This interaction would result into enriching the experience of the visitors in tribal areas. Most of the tourists who are on tribal areas would definitely like to be part of the tribal lore, and they do not want to disturb the natural settings as well as their natural living conditions, so that they could glean much information on the cultural traits of the tribals, so that they would be taken into the natural areas in their pristine calm and serene atmosphere. They will be given a chance to look at their habitats, how their huts and hutments are erected, their cattle pens are maintained, then how the women folk are engaged in both domestic and agricultural operations. So there are some other activities these tribals involve. On the other hand, the tourists would like to involve themselves in the tourism activity in which interacting one, and then if the tribals are in their festive mood, whether they are dancing, singing, or in their merriment, these tourists also become part of the tribal lore and enjoy themselves by involving themselves into the tribal celebrations. For development of tribal tourism in any area, what we need is indigenous tourist attractions. These indigenous tourist attractions include traditions, cultural villages, indigenous fairs and festivals, museums and art galleries, cultural, environmental aspects of indigenous heritage. Any tourism for that matter, whether it is mass tourism or special interest tourism or ecotourism or tribal tourism, definitely the tourism activities will leave an impact on the people and locations. Tribal tourism is not an exception as far as the tourism impacts are concerned. We have both the positive and negative impacts as far as the tribals are concerned. Let us now discuss tribes and tourism impacts and issues. Tribal tourism is significant for the country since India is blessed with wide variety of tribes and their culture. There are a lot of positive benefits if the tourism is properly planned and developed in the tribal areas. It provides employment and generates revenue for the tribes. It conserves and preserves the tribal culture in its pristine natural setting. There is a possibility of a negative impact of tourism on tribals if the tourism is not developed in responsible and sustainable manner. Before planning for development of tribal tourism in India, Government of India has taken the inventory of the tribe and tribal population in different localities of India. For example, in Andhra Pradesh, there are as many as 33 tribes, among which the prominent tribes include the Chensus, the Yanadis, the Koyas, Savaras, Samantas, Gadabas, etc. Each and every tribe has its own living conditions, activities, then lifestyle, fairs and festivals, and handicrafts and culture. India is bestowed with hundreds of tribes, and we begin our discussion with the tribe called Muria. Muria tribes are inhabitants of Bastar district in the state of Chhattisgarh. They are relatively prosperous when compared to other indigenous tribes of the area. They are self-sufficient in producing chickpeas, dal, and lentils. The tribe follows pre-matric sex. The youth are expected to engage in sexual activities where they are discouraged to become emotionally attached to the sex partner. The Muria tribe worship village and clan deities. Korwa. People of Korwa tribe live in the hills and forests of Chota Nagpur in Chhattisgarh. The Korwa community consists of 4 subgroups, namely Agaria Korwa, Dam Korwa, Di Korwa and Pahar Korwa. All 4 subgroups worship the same deity named Di. People of Korwa tribe speak Korba language, which is also known as Eringa, Singli and Bhashi. The next important tribe is Kamar. Kamar is one of the tribes in India who live in the Raipur and Rewa districts of Madhya Pradesh. Their local language is called Kamar. Military service is considered to be their traditional occupation, whereas the farming is the primary occupation of most of the Kamar people. They follow Hinduism and each home has a family deity, what we call the tutelary god or goddess. Munda. Munda is one of the largest tea tribes of the nation. Munda people are found in Indian states of Jharkhand, Assam, Odisha, West Bengal, Chhattisgarh, Bihar, Tripura and Madhya Pradesh and also in Bangladesh. They speak Mundari language. The contemporary culture of the Munda people is a mix of their own religion and Christianity. The traditional occupation of Munda people is hunting, but nowadays they are employed in other sectors too. Kharia. The Kharia people are found in the Indian states of Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, West Bengal and Assam. There are a few inhabitants in Andaman Islands also. There are mainly 3 tribes, namely the Dudh Kharia, Delhi Kharia and Hill Kharia. They practice hunting, gathering and collecting of forest resources for their livelihood. Jong and Bhumis. Jong are the tribal people, the inhabitants of Gosaika hill range in the state of Odisha. The primitive Jang people were mainly hunters and gatherers. Father and all the females of the family live together in a hut, whereas boys live in separate huts at the entrance of their village. The Jang people worshipped forest spirits in the olden days. Bhumis is located in Assam, Jharkhand, Odisha and West Bengal. They speak Mundari language. The term Bhumis means one who is born from the soil. Although they have their own traditional beliefs, the modern Bhumis people adopted Hinduism as their religion. Koya. Koya tribal people are inhabitants of Indian states of Andhra Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka and Odisha. They are also referred to as Koi, Koyalu, Koyolu and so on. Their language is known as Koya, which doesn't have a script. The Koya people are primarily cultivators and artisans. Galo. The Galo tribe lives in the central eastern Himalayas. They are the descendants of Abathani and speak a Galo language. They are also referred with the names such as Duba, Doba, Dubah, Abor, Galang, Abor, Galang, Galang, Adi, etc. The Galo people follow monogamy, but the elite people of the tribe follows polygamy. They follow the religion called Donyi Polo, and now Christianity is spreading rapidly among this tribe. Badagas. The Badagas are tribal people inhabited in the Nilgiri hills of South Indian state of Tamil Nadu. They are the largest indigenous tribe in the Nilgiri hills and speak Badagu language, which has also no script. They are agricultural people living in nearly 440 villages. Even though their main deity is Hetai, they also worship several Hindu deities nowadays. Also known as Bhils. The Bhil are the tribal people inhabited in the central and also in certain parts of Sindh in Pakistan. They are the largest tribal group in India and they speak Bhil languages. The Bhils include several clans and lineages such as Barda, Wasava, Bhil March, etc. An important element of the Bhil culture is the Ghumar dance. Gondi. The Gondi or the Gond is the tribal people of Dravidian origin inhabited in the states of Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Uttar Pradesh, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Odisha and so on. Their main languages are Gondi and Hindi. Other Indo-Aryan languages are also spoken by some of the Gondi tribal people. The script called Gunjala Gondi Lipi is used to write Gondi language. The Gonds are well known for their knowledge of astronomy. Apatani. Apatani, also known as Tha, Apa and Apatani are the tribal people inhabited in the Jiro Valley in the Indian state of Arunachal Pradesh. The tribe follows democracy and their village council is known as Bulyan. Their oral folk tales are known as Miji and Migun. They worship the nature and believe that every object in the nature has divine power. They are known for the nose plugs and face tattoos. Jarva. Jarva is one among the several indigenous tribes of Andaman and Nicobar Islands. They speak Jarva language, one of the Ongan languages. They are believed to have inhabited in Andaman Islands for about 7,000 years. They were totally isolated from the outside world till a few years ago. Urali. The Urali tribe is one among several tribes inhabited in the South Indian state of Kerala. Agriculture is their prime occupation. Hunting, mat weaving, basket making, pottery making, etc. are also done by this particular tribe. They worship nature and believe that sun is the creator of all souls. Another important tribe of northeastern India is known as Urali and Mikir. Also known as Karbi, an important tribe in the northeastern India. The Mikir people are mainly inhabited in the state of Assam. Linguistically, the Mikir people belong to Tibeto-Burman group. The tribe includes 5 major clans and marriage between people of the same clan is not practiced. Romkar and Chomkan are important among the various festivals celebrated by the Mikir tribe. So far, we have discussed on a few prominent tribes of India spread in different localities of India, somewhere in Assam, somewhere in Kerala, somewhere in Chhattisgarh, sometimes in Madhya Pradesh, sometimes in Andhra Pradesh, which gives ample scope for the government of India to develop tribal tourism so that people or the elite class can visit the areas of the tribals and know particular tribes of the tribes so that they can come to an understanding how tribals live in remote areas. So this is a very best opportunity for the urbanites or city dwellers to know about the indigenous tribes in the name of tribal tourism. There are certain tribal tourism destinations which were originally available, and Government of India has chosen some more destinations to take tourists for tribal tourism. The majority of India's tribal groups are present in central, northeast, western and eastern India. Tropical central states of Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh are home to the Gond, the region's largest tribe. The western states of Rajasthan and Gujarat are best seen between November and February, as these areas are dotted with a good number of tribal people. In eastern India, almost 1/4 of the Odisha's population belongs to a tribal community. India's tribes are known for their arts and craftsmanship. The northeastern regions of India include the states of Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Nagaland, Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram. The entire northeastern India is home to several ethnic groups who have inhabited in this region since antiquity. The northeastern Indian tribes are known for their distinctive culture, ancient language, hand-woven dress and handicrafts, all of which are distinctive and most appealing too. Some of the prominent tribes of the northeast India include Nagas, Khasis, Jaintias, Mizo, Boros and Kacharis. In the state of Orissa, there live a good number of tribes. Orissa is a traditional dwelling place of several tribes who endorse its antiquity. In Orissa, there are many number of tribes live in the central part, even on the coastal areas also. These ancient people with mystical ancient ways dwell in Orissa's remote, deep forest and hilly interiors too. Most of them are in the southwestern part of the state. The tribes continue to inhabit Orissa's remote areas in the deep forest and hilly interiors. Tourists flock to Orissa to find the unusual charm of this comparatively unsung state. Major tribal sites in Orissa include Jaipur, Baliguda, Kotagar, Raigad, Chatti-Kiona, Anka Delhi are some of the places which are worth seeing in Orissa. The tribals of Orissa treasure a rich and diverse cultural heritage. The changing seasons, religious customs and the traditional values are strong motivation for creating a series of festivals that enrich their life cycle. Chhattisgarh. Chhattisgarh is one of the most intriguing tribal tourist destinations not only in India but to the world. Chhattisgarh has constantly been identified with the tribes and their culture. Chhattisgarh is famed for its incomparable picturesque splendor and distinctive rich ethnic culture. The tribes of Chhattisgarh follow unique lifestyles and have impressively maintained their culture and traditions for ages. Over a third of its population is tribal, with most of them living in the thickly forested areas of the Bastar region. The tribes, which are predominantly Gonds, are known for producing beautiful arts and crafts, music and dance, and unorthodox marriage practices. Young men and women live together in groups in Ghotul huts and interact freely before getting married. The Dasara festival is one of the most important festivals of the region and is celebrated in unique style there. Rajasthan. In Rajasthan, the Bhil tribe, the prominent group, were amongst the original inhabitants of the state. They are mostly located in southernmost Rajasthan. The 5-day Baneshwar tribal fair held every February or January in Durgapur attracts huge number of tourists. One can also celebrate the Holi festival in traditional style in Banswara with the Bhil tribes. Traditional clothing, carrying swords and sticks and performing the tribal dance of the region is one of the attracting factor of tribal tourism in Rajasthan. Conveniently located not far from Jodhpur, Bishnoi village provides an authentic experience of rural Rajasthan. The notable Bishnoi tribe reveres nature and live in harmony with it, so much so that they bury their dead instead of burning them like other Hindus to preserve trees as wood is used in cremation. Maharashtra. Maharashtra has a large tribal population. The state is home to almost 50 tribes, with the main ones being Bhils, Gonds, Mahadev Koils, Pawars, Thakurs and Worlis. Tribal tourism showcases tribal life, art, culture and heritage on location. It enables interaction between the tourists and the tribes for an enriching experience. Tribes who stay in different parts of the country are still continuing their traditional way of life, festivals, music and modes of artistic expression. Tourists can experience these diverse communities and their heritage through tribal tourism. The tribal tours in India are most refreshing and energizing. The other side of tribal tourism is that if it is not properly managed, it will lead to many negative impacts on the native tribal communities. Students, we have so far defined who tribals are, where they exactly live, then the areas and states inhabited by the tribals and the efforts of Government of India to identify the potential tribal areas for development of tourism, and thus the emergence of tribal tourism in Indian tourism scenario made a difference. Nowadays, most of the foreign tourists would like to go visit tribal areas and know something about the tribal lore and culture. The Naga tribe in Nagaland is known for its unique cultural trait, music and dance. So most of the tourists who come for tribal tourism in India, majority of them would definitely visit Assam. Thank you.